let's see how we're doing. Are we doing live? We are live. All right, perfect. Why it's going through, this is so weird. I don't have to do two of them. All right, so welcome everybody. So I had a little trouble with my live stream. Welcome. Who's this?
Okay, we're broadcasting live. So
Oh, there we go. So there is that. Oh, can't stop that one from happening. All right, well, I got the chat open on YouTube. So if you guys are out there, I'm gonna put a quick message out to everybody, like if they just want to watch. Oh yeah, I noticed that. Friendly links. So that's pretty interesting. They're doing friendly links now. So I'm not sharing yet, but I will share my screen in just a second. There we go. Let's see. So I'm shooting an email out. Oh, an ad playing on me. Oh, so many distractions. Okay. Put it up there. So who's on the call with me? See somebody who's an iPhone guest? You got your audio on? See the camera's blocked. Get your camera on but blocked. Welcome, this is Dominic. So you have a question about Salesforce? So we're gonna get started in just a second. I'm just shooting out an email, letting people know about the all right. Sending it up. I'm doing a meeting on the fly. All right, look at that. All right, sending out another little message, everybody. Hey, Leo, what's happening? Can you hear me?
morning, Dominic.
Hey, man, how's it going? I know you want, I saw your question that you posted, which was great, that you wanted to hear more about exam prep. Is that right?
Yeah.
How to prepare for the exam. Perfect. Because that's what I'm pulling up right now. Let me share my screen. I just got done from a workout. Had it, had to run back. And why is that person there? There we go. So, oh, something happened in my live broadcast. So hold on. So weird. I don't know. I don't understand the technology that's happening. I'm trying to broadcast live, and I don't know if it's really happening or not. It looks like it broadcast for a little while. I shut down something. Now it broke. But anyway, I'm going to go over the interactive practice test for about an hour today, and we'll see if we can get through it. And I'll explain what's happening. So before we do that, let me go ahead and at least record. Oh, we're streaming. Let's see if it's really happening. If I got the right streaming link. See if that's the right stream link. I think I started 2 by accident. Yeah, okay, we're streaming. And wonder if the one I just sent out is correct. Isn't that fun? So let me just do a quick check. Leo and yours as we speak. Nope, that's the wrong one. I am just messing up with all of the links that I'm sending today. So isn't that fun? See if we can get this back. All right, so we're going to cover my marketing platform. Put that off the side. I'll send everybody a new link. All right, so let's talk about the questions. And so Leo, what I'm going to demonstrate in this video is the way to go through the test and figure out how to not pick the wrong answer. I can't always tell you the right answer, but I can always tell you ways you can not pick the wrong answer, or at least eliminate the number of choices on your wrong answers, right? So that's only the biggest challenge, right? The goal is not to get everything right. It's to not get too many wrong, right? So let me just go do this one more time. I'm like, oh, if I could just stop sending emails to people. So you're going to get a bunch of emails from this. Last 2 days, you're going to get more emails. We'll probably have more unsubscribes. And there we go. All right. That's it. There we go. Action is. There we go. I should be sending this, showing you, look, technology is ugly sometimes, and it just doesn't always like it. Let's see, bulk action. Let's see if the first one go through. Yep. Okay, so now we're in it. We're done. Some people here earlier, we're trying to get people on, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to rock this out in the next hour, and then we'll go from there. And then please join us again. Remember, live QA, superuseracademy.com/live QA call in order to submit your questions. So Leo, so practicing for the test. So have you gone through this practice test already, this practice assessment yet, Leo?
Yeah, I went through a couple times.
And how did it go? Did you have any major questions?
No, I mean, I knew some of the areas that I needed to study and go back through, but other than that, no, I thought it went fairly well.
Gotcha. Very cool. So let's see. I'm gonna go. Well, we'll just kind of look. We'll see where it takes us. And we'll go through this kind of quick then, not just for you, but we'll go through it. We'll blaze through it, mainly because we spent the first 32 minutes of this call getting ready. I did not get my timing right. So we'll go through this real quick. And if you have any questions or comments, Leo, feel free to join in. Anybody else that's live. I now have the correct live stream link on the correct place in the interwebs world, and I'll be able to check the chat on that as well. Hopefully, let's see. So I think that will work. I did not get my timing right. There we go. Yep. So we're broadcasting live. That's great. I got the chat open over there. So if anybody pops in, doubt that they will, but if they do, come on board. The good news is I have my YouTube comments set up to create a case. So if you have a question, just post a comment. All right. Question 1 of 30. Let's see if we can blaze through this in 30 to 40 minutes. So Ursa Major needs to ensure compliance with a platinum service level agreement. Therefore, cases stay in the tier 2 queue for longer than 4 hours. Cases that stay in the tier 2 queue for longer than 4 hours must be reassigned to the tier 3 queue. So what is this? This is a case and time. So when cases are created, the case assignment rule and the auto response rule kick in. But after a case is created, over a certain period of time, in order to keep your promise with your customer, you can escalate the case or reassign. So instead of calling it a case reassignment rule, it's an escalation rule. And the reason it escalates is when people nowadays send you an email, when you get at the top of your inbox, I want to do like that kind of stuff, then that's an escalation of a communication. This is the same thing. So we would use the case escalation rule. So a case assignment and auto response are the two things that happen when a case is created either from the web, email, or something else. Case escalation is when a case is not yet resolved, or at least to the certain milestone, if you use milestones in the case. So then it escalates like, hey, this case isn't getting handled fast enough. We have a promise to our customers. We're just going to go ahead and alert people. We're going to call people. We're going to reassign it. You can do any of those things in an escalation rule. You don't have to reassign it. That's one of your options. The case comments are something you do on the case as a way of communicating, and it's different than chatter. It's a comment, and anybody who has access to the case, that's when it's open, can add comments. So it might not just be the person handling the case. It might be a customer adding a comment from the web portal. It might be another coworker, a boss, supervisor, a product manager, whatever it is, adding a comment to that case. That keeps everybody in the case informed, separate from the chatter. And when a new case comment occurs, fun feature, you can turn on case comment notification, which means any comment that anybody adds to the case will also get emailed to the customer contact on the case record. And when that happens, you're keeping the customer, you're keeping the contact in the loop. Anyway, so this answer is B. I want to move on. Which 3 reports can be used to display a list of the top 10 accounts on a dashboard? This is one we talked about in class. I talked about in the reporting class I taught this week. In that any summary report can be used on a dashboard. Now, this is really a classic question because the answer is really only relevant to classic, and the solution only works in classic. But so we know that dashboards show the summary totals of all the underlying reports, however you have them set on the component. And so A, C, and D sound like they're all going to be good answers, but be careful going with that first assumption. You have to test every answer. So will a summary report with a chart work on a dashboard? Of course. And this question is actually, they've changed the question. And now none of these answers are actually right. There's only one answer now that's right. But what they're trying to say, what 3 reports can be used to display on a dashboard? And one of them is a list of top 10 accounts. That's technically it. I'm gonna challenge this one. A summary report with a chart will definitely do it. A summary report without a chart will definitely do it. Why? Because you don't, that's basically the same answer with or without a chart. Any summary report can go on a dashboard. Now, D is wrong because you cannot set the rows to display to a limit on a summary report. Can't do it because there's no rows for it to count. There's only summary rows that it could maybe count. So B is the feature, tabular report with rows display set to 10, because that's all, you can only do that in Classic on a tabular report. And a tabular report with or without a chart doesn't matter because you cannot add a tabular report to a dashboard in Classic. I don't think you'll see this one on the test. And I think they reworded it and it's really not a very good question, my opinion. Oh, we got to select 3 options, right? So it's summary, tabular. So A, B, and C on this one. Was that the same as you got, Leo? If it's not, then that's why you didn't get it right before. Universal Containers wants sales reps to process credit card payments when an opportunity is closed. 1, which approach should you take? Not which solution should you pick, right? Right. So add payment detail custom fields to the opportunity. That doesn't process a credit card. That collects credit card data. B, install App Exchange credit card payment package. That's the answer, right? But let's look at the other answers. Create a workflow rule, email alert to notify finance. What good would that do? That would not be immediate. That would not have sales reps process credit cards. That would have sales reps email finance about a credit card to be processed. So you got to be very clear about what the action is in the answer. Does it match the requirement? No, they want to be able to process credit cards, not send an email to let somebody know that there's a credit card. That's magical thinking, to think that if I send an email, something's going to happen. All you did was send an email. You don't know what's going to happen after you send an email, right? Build a standard Visualforce page and Salesforce site. That's a very complex answer and doesn't give you enough information about, well, does that Salesforce site and that Visualforce page integrate with a payment processing center that automatically, like, big deal, still not going to work. The easiest thing to do is B, install an App Exchange credit card payment package. Why? Because somebody's worked out all those details. I know there's one, there's a couple, but one I saw, I think Clio was it. I don't think it might be Clio, something else. Oh, I got to select an option. Install that App Exchange package. All right. Number 4, the administrator at Universal Containers is creating a flow with several steps. How can you check their work as they're developing the flow? And this is a good question. And I'm got to tell you, let's see. So there are, let's see. So use debug logs, use debug tools. So there's 2 answers that have the same tool in question. This is how you filter out the right and wrong answer, or at least how do you try to figure out the right answer? You don't absolutely know it and you haven't tested everyone. All right, so how can you administer a check as they're developing a flow? Let's just look at the 2 answers that don't have anything in common. So perform the same steps manually via the UI. Well, that's a good way to do it in order to create the flow. If you can do a flow manually, and there's certain steps you take, it's like a macro, but that doesn't check the work of developing a flow. So B is out. Using debug logs found in setup. Here's the truth about what we need to do. So I'm going to go and launch my Trailhead Playground, because while you're practicing for the test, this is what you can do. You can go try it, right? So let's see. Let's go to the challenge, and I'm going to retake a challenge, and I'm going to launch my playground. So I just picked the playground, right, for my different playgrounds. I'm going to launch my TVB playground because that one's pretty hot. Let's see. Here we go. So let's just go look and see, right? So you go to setup, because the answer was use debug logs found in setup. Like, okay, have you used debug logs? Let's just see if we can find it. Debug logs. Let's look at the debug logs. Might be it. So let's see. User trace flags, debug level, dev console level. So let's see now. So with that, running the test, system generates a debug. So this might be one, but I think, again, this is all going to be part of the flows. Oh, there's an automation home. Wait a minute, that's new. Oh, last 30 days, flows without UI, total flows with UI. What do you want to create? Oh, look at this. Oh, I like this. Start with an automation template. Oh, I didn't even, this is all brand new stuff. Learn automation on Trailhead, explore automate. Look at this. Measure. There's nothing there. Let's try a template. This is great. So let's see, 8 new flow templates to accelerate automation. Look at that. So it takes you to the app exchange. I like it. That's great. All right, that's not what we're doing. Okay. So let's see. If I want to cancel an item, let's say creating a case has a screen flow. So what is our test question again? We're creating a flow with several steps. We want to check their work as they're developing the flow. Close all that down. So there's a debug mode here on the flow. And I want to run the debug options. All right, so there's no variables to run. So I'm going to say Edna. Let's see. So this is the debug details in the developer console. Use a debug tool in the flow builder. Well, that looks good. Using debug logs in the developer console. Now here we've developed this, we're running the flow, right? The developer console lives, I believe, what is the developer console? Under setup. So under developer console, under setup, this is basically the inspection log that you would do. Debugs, execute last. So this looks like not like all of the answers I tried, right? Only one that's like debug details. Look at that. Your email address. See how that works. So I'm doing the little flow. I do my case type. I do my subject. Details. And then, so here we go. We're going contact not found, create a case record. Next steps. Okay, great. So that was a create a case. So these are all of our debug logs. Look at that. It looks like, right? Hey, here we go. So of the answers that seemed like they worked, the only one that seemed like it made any sense, the debug logs didn't really guide me. The debug logs in the developer console didn't help me. You can't perform the same steps wouldn't do it. So using the debug tool in Flow Builder. There you go. I put my fingers on every answer. Did you see that? Were you paying attention? Go do that. Did you know where they were? No, but you go figure it out. All right, Ursa Major Solar. These questions are the new questions on the test. Needs to fulfill the following requirements. A custom object must be created to capture account survey data. So this is survey data related to an account record. So that the survey data is going to be a child of the account. Users need the ability to select an account from the survey record and view related surveys on the account record. Ha, right? So how do we, as an administrator, configure to meet these requirements? Put the survey related list on the account page. So which one holds the related list is the parent. The parent has many children, a list of children. Children have one mother, one father, right, as parents. So putting the survey related list on the account page would work. Putting the account related list on the survey page out wouldn't happen. Why? Because the survey is looking up to which account it's related to. Therefore, it is the child and therefore has a field on its record to tell you which parent it has. create a lookup relationship field on the account object. Would I? The looking up to what? The survey? The survey is one to many. So you create a lookup on the survey object. Make sense? So this one I don't need to go test because I can walk through. Basically saying, if you have a count that has many surveys, the one has many, the one is the parent, the many is the child. Therefore, the parent has the related list, the child has the lookup. There you go. Which two levels of access should be set when sharing a document folder with users? All right, so document folders. Oh, that's really good. So that is a classic. I don't even think you can have documents in Lightning anymore. Yeah, it's not even there. So we even have to switch. I'm gonna close this. If I switch to Classic, so if you've never done this stuff, and it's been a while since I've done documents. So I hit the plus sign is similar to the 9 dots. All your items are here. I'm going to go down to documents. Now that I got my documents, I got a personal folder. I create a new folder, which is what they're asking, right? So question is, what two levels of access, right? So I got my document folder called test prep. And the public folder access is read only or read write. So read only or read write. So read only and read write are my only two options. Read, write, create, because it said when sharing a document folder with users. So this is the public folder access, read only or read write. And then I'm choosing which users, which is different, right? I can hit it all hidden or choose groups, roles, subordinates. Any folder works like this, just like folders in reports, folders in dashboards, folders in documents, folders in any place you see folders. They're used for granting access to the folder and everything in it, right? So that's it. You can read, write, or read only in the folder. There's no create, there's no delete. 7, which Salesforce tool should administrator use to better understand all of the configuration changes that have been made since January 1 through July 1? Well, let's see. It's set up audit trail. That's the answer, but don't study the answer. Go look, right? So how do I know that? Well, I'm gonna go back to my here, and I'm gonna start testing them, right? Matter of fact, let me just do this. Pop that out. Pop that in. Oops. There we go. Why are you not doing that? There we go, little buddy. So I got my questions and answers. See how this will render. Oh, beautiful. Okay, here we go. So we can actually have them both open at the same time. Sweet. So if I go to set up audit trail, now we already did one. We already did the debug log, right? We saw that that was weird. You know, it's not the same everywhere doing everything, right? But here's my setup on the last 20 entries. You can download the audit trail for the last 6 months. Everything done in the setup menu is going to be contained in the setup audit trail, except for data import wizard access. So, but look, let's check the other ones, right? So network access settings. What are those? Those are the trusted IPs. This is a good review to go, don't look for the question and the answer. Go touch all of this stuff. Remind yourself what all of these things are so you know what they're not. The network access contains the IP address ranges that your organization already trusts. These are the easy pass lanes. So if you work from this range to that range, and anybody that's sitting in those ranges, they can come into your org without a cookie on the browser. Those trusted IP ranges could also be the same IP ranges for certain profiles that they're restricted to. So not only can they log in without a cookie, but those are the only ones that can log in. That's controlled by the profile, right? We looked at the debug log already. That didn't do us any good, right? What is that going to show us, right? That doesn't show all the things that happen. You saw that already. You said, wait a minute, what is this? Da, da, da. Let's look at the filter. Let's look at what this is. Let's see. What's my debug log? That's my username, right? There's no log there anyway. So that's not going to help. So it's not working. And then of course, custom report types is for what? Custom report types. Exactly right. So custom report types. Yep, there it is. It's not custom report types, just report types. Here under report types, you're making report types. What does that have anything to do with understand all the configuration changes that have been made, right? So it's set up audit trail. All right, Ursa Major Solar's administrator created a new account record type. But when marketing users are creating new account records, they're unable to choose the new record type. What are two potential causes? So remember, when you have record types, see, I don't know if we have any record types, but we can have them in just a second. When we have record types, we assign those record types to, I'm going to call this one customers, right? And look what you're doing here. You're making them available to different profiles. So the first thing is they have to have it available on their profile. And then once they have it available, once you have more than one, they pick one of them has to be the default. Because a user can control, I don't think we have any, on their own personal settings, where is it? Answers and details. It's not it. Display and layout. Record page settings. No. I don't remember which one it's on. Import. It might not be there because I don't actually have any record types for them to choose their default, but a user could choose their default record type on record creation. And it's not here because I don't have any record types yet. So let me go back to creating a record type real quick. And it'll show up. So if you don't have them created, I don't have mine created yet. Let's just create them. So we'll just create a couple quick record types. Customers, make it active, assign it to the profiles, assign any page layouts. I don't think I have multiple page layouts yet. Let's see. Assign the page layout. I'm going to do the account layout. I'm sorry. Do the account sales layout to all profiles. I'm going to create a new record type. And I'm going to call this. So let's see if we do account-based marketing. Yeah, it didn't like save and new for some reason. So I'm going to call this one prospects. Make it active. Choose, look at this. Now I got to choose which profiles have access to that second record type. So I could have silver partner, standard user. Where's my custom? I don't know if I have any custom sales profile, custom marketing profile. Right. So now, and of course, system administrator. And then I could choose like which one is their default. And let's say I'm going to choose the marketing layout. I'm just choosing a page layout for that profile and all profiles for that record type. And now when I go refresh my page, now when I go to my user record, because I have two record types assigned, a user can choose which record type. So if the record type is deactivated, that could cause the issue. The record type is disassociated from the page layout. No, that can't happen. It just can't happen. But the record type now, let's see where this is. Settings, password, connections. Desktop and add-ons. Display and layout. There it is. Set default record types. Now that I have two record types, I could set my default to be the choice. So when I create a new account, I get the choice between customer and prospect. If I check this box, then it chooses my default for me. I doubt if it'll work yet. I got to refresh the page. It chooses my default for me. So if I can't see the choice, it's because I've already chosen as a user. Users forget they do this, by the way. They dig around, they see a video. Wait a minute. Oh, can I not? Did I not see it? Okay. Go back to the sales app just to make it touch it. Does that make sense? So, of course, if it's deactivated, it wouldn't do it. There is no record type to the page layout that wouldn't do that anyway. The record type default setting is disabled. How do you disable the default setting? It could just be the record type is disabled for that profile, right? So you got to choose the profile, and it's got to be an active record type. There you go. That's the answer. You can't dissociate it from a page layout, right? So if I go back to my Lightning experience, my setup back there, I'm in somewhere else now, right? So that account tab, now that I've set my default, but I'm an administrator, so it might, there it is. I reset my default, and there it is. It's creating a new account of a customer's record type, right? By default. So that's what's happening. So let's see if was that the question though? Because that's one thing that would happen. So that used to be the old answer. So they've readjusted the answers. See, I'm a creature of habit too. So if they're unable to choose a new record type, the record type would be disabled or it's deactivated. So on my record type, I could have that record type could be inactive. So if I go back to record types, and that would prevent somebody from, let me edit this record type. If I make that deactivated, oh yeah, so we have this as a default, so we can't deactivate a default record type. Fascinating, right? So all that tells you, if the record type is active, that's a thing you can turn on and off, then yeah, you're not gonna be able to select it. So this is how I would prepare you for the test, is take the practice test with a system open and make sure that you're testing it. All right, so Ursa Major Solar is looking into backup methods. Which set of small and large backup methods are available in native Salesforce? That means without buying anything else, right? So we got data loader exports. That's true. Then we have another answer with data loader exports in it. Okay, we have another answer. We have three answers with data loader exports in it. So that's good news. That means that's probably a good element. Report exports. Nope, two have report exports in it. Now we're getting there. And weekly data export. Well, these are all things that you got to go see if they exist, right? So let's go look to see if they exist. So data loader, we know we can export. Reports, we know we can export. And is there a thing called weekly data export service? Let's type in export. And there is a export service, data export in Salesforce. And it is either a weekly or a monthly option, depending upon when you schedule the export, depending on what settings you have in your org. It can be one day of every month. This is a monthly activated. So you're picking the day, the week, or the month, depending on what you have activated. So that all three of those we know are true. Let's look at the answers to the other ones. Report exports, yes. Dashboard exports. That's a new element because weekly data exports and report. That's to it, right? Weekly dashboard exports. Well, go test it. Go look at your dashboards. Is there a way? I don't know if I even have any dashboards. There it is. Is there a way to export from a dashboard? Go try it. And I'm trying it now. You could download. Let's download it. I never tried downloading a dashboard. Let's see what it does. Oh, it offers a picture. Is that data? Is a picture data? There's my download of a dashboard. How useful is that? That's awesome. It's a picture. I could subscribe to it. I could save it as. I could create a new dashboard. I could delete it. None of those get me data export. So B is out. And then there's one that says, okay, so we know data loader works. We know the weekly data export service works. What about this mass exports? Then there's mass export wizard in C. Right? So we've already data loader exports, weekly data export, that works. Data loader exports, weekly data. Now we're looking at mass exports and mass export wizard. That's an indication that those two are BS answers. But let's go check it out. Let's go check out, does that exist in setup? Right, so I got export. First of all, I typed in export, and there's mass export wizard, and nothing shows up with export in it except export, data export and export workbench. But let's just try mass, because you ought to know. Let's try mass. See, maybe it's called mass data out of the system, right? Maybe it's called something. But look, in mass is only mass delete, mass transfer, approval request, mass transfer records, and mass update addresses. There's only 4 masses. It's a very light Catholic church. There's only 4 masses. So it's got to be the one A that we identified in the very beginning. But you got to touch every one. All right, 10. Universal Containers uses a custom object within the product development team. Product development executives, and admins should be the only users with access to records of this object. So wait a minute. Access to records of an object is starting to tell me that you just control the profile for everybody that's not a product development executive or system administrator, right? And then you say product development needs read-write access to all the records within the object, while the executive should only be able to view the records. So you don't have to, it's not talking about records and their ownership. They're saying all records. So that's by default, the profile controls that. Profile controls all records as long as your organization-wide default settings to record access you don't own is set to public read-write. Right? You're setting, it's public read-write, but the product development has read-write access on their profile, and the executives have only read-only access. But any record by any owner is visible. So let's look at the answers and see if we can diagnose the right and wrong. So setting the OWD to private is 2 of the choices. So we already know with A and D, we don't need that as a requirement, because all the other users, we're saying all other users, where's words? These 3 should be the only users with access to the records of this object. Well, how do you get access to records of an object? You got to have object permissions. So you have to have read access, create access, edit access, delete access. So setting the OWD to private doesn't help. But we categorize A and D and B and C because they're both using the same feature with a different setting, private versus public. So let's keep analyzing. We don't want to jump to conclusions just yet. So now let's eliminate A and D completely. Besides private being wrong, we can add the executive users to the default team for the object. Well, we already know that's wrong too. So it's got 2 wrong elements. 1, by your knowledge of the requirements, and 2, by your knowledge of the features. There's no such thing as a team for the object. And add the default team to all the records. Okay, well, that doesn't address the product managers and the administrator. So that's wrong. Let's go to D and make sure it's totally wrong. Give the product development profile, modify all for the object, give the executives view all access. Well, what's the point of that? All it doesn't address everybody else. It doesn't address the system administrator, right? You're just saying, I'm going to create a rule and immediately I'm going to go change a setting in the profile that overrides that rule, right? So you don't need to do that. That's crazy talk. So B and C, at least the first half of that question isn't similar. So we're gonna set the OWD to public read write. Great. Create a read only public read write in B. Create a read only sharing rule to share all records in the object with the executive public group. You can't do that because it's public read write. Therefore, no sharing rules are needed. So B is out. So I don't even know what C says, and I know it's right. But let's go ahead and test it. Give the product development profile read, create, edit permissions. Give the executives read-only permissions for that object. Well, does that solve the problem? Yes, it does. Because the profile controls access to the object and all of its records. The OWD restricts access to records that the person with the profile that has access to the records that they don't OWN. So imagine it's like getting a key to an office building and you got a key to get in the building, but you only have a key to your office. It's a private office building. You only have a key to your office because you own that office. Make sense? You got to put in terms you understand. Number 11, Universal Containers created a time-based workflow rule that sends a follow-up email 2 days after a case is closed. We want to verify that the workflow functions correctly. Which queue should the administrator view to monitor pending workflow actions? Well, let's go look at them because I promise you only one of these, right? So let's just see, outbound messages. Okay. Outbound messages. I'm monitoring outbound messages. This is great. Except for what? An outbound message is not an email. So big deal, right? Background jobs. There's a background jobs queue. What does that do? Well, that tells you the status of all of your data import wizard jobs or any of your other background jobs that happen, right? These background jobs, but that doesn't have, let's see, all background jobs. What are some of the background jobs? I don't even play with background jobs, right? But here's all the fields I got. Job completed, completion errors, but this doesn't show me emails. So let me look at my mass email queue. You're already like, but we've already tested mass. There's no mass email. Why? Because you already tested the word mass. There's only delete, transfer, and update of the 3 masses. So let's just look at the other time-based workflows. Baha. So do I have any time-based workflows scheduled? No, but if I did, no search criteria. I could search for it and find it. So my time-based workflow criteria. Number 12, how should a chatter user send a message to another chatter user that cannot be viewed by anyone else? Well, that's tough, but post a private message to the recipient would be the answer, I believe, but let's just check. Look at chatter. I don't even know if I have. I think in order to do this, I got to go to my chatter profile. And messages are new and lightning, I believe, and they might have to be turned on. Post a private message to the recipient. Like, I can't remember where that is. Like, that used to be a thing. It was a thing, actually, to be clear, it was a thing in Classic. So in if I went to profile in Classic, there is a private, let's see, I have Joe employee here. I don't know if I got that. other people. Post a message to record owner. That doesn't do anything different. Use pound secret. That just pound is going to create a topic. Use @mention. Is this going to notify the person? Posting a private message to the recipient. I don't know what. Let's see. It's been so long since I messed with this. What I'm looking for right now is other user. Let's just do this. And if that all else fails, click the message link on the chatter tab. Let's see if that's there. Let's see if that's the, I think there's setup that required for that. And the messages link on the chatter tab. Open a person's profile by clicking the name in chatter. So I think that's all classic-y stuff, and it's got to be. What I'm looking for here is other users. So I was looking for if I have any other users involved. So if I don't have other users, I can't do this. Like, so I don't know if it might be what I'm in a dev org, I'm in a playground. So I think it's a feature that's got to be set. I also think it has to be classic. Where's my other users? Did I create another user? Nope. So let's create another user. Joe employee. So I'm going to give them a Salesforce license in the role of VP of marketing, the profile of profile, VP of marketing, sales, save, save. And then when I go to chatter, if I go to me, anything to me, nothing to me, let me go back to my thing. Well, actually, let me go to Joe. Go to Joe's profile. There is a private message. I know it. Open experiences, workspaces. What? Where is that? So let's see. Anyway, I went through a lot of trouble to answer a question that I had. Did you get your answer? Let's see. Digital experience settings. Enable digital experience. Domain name. That works. All right, so let's see. Open experience workspace. Oh, so wow. Okay. Anyway, it's a long way to do it. Post a private message to the recipient. Anyway, which feature should Ursa Major Solar use if they want their support agents who are skilled in a particular product line to own cases directly after customers log them from an automated channel? All right, so that's assignment rules. Why? Because after you collect the data, you can then use that data to determine who would be the best person in your organization to do it. Let's see. So, wow, this is a lot of extra stuff. These spaces. Customer account. Aloha, what is all this? This is fantastic. Okay, great. Customer account portal. I'm not doing those right now, right? It's a lot, but you get it. You got the instructions, right? Case team
Right.
routing. What is that? There's assigning a case team, right? So if you want to look at what that is there, right? So a workflow field update is exactly what an assignment rule is. So in automation, there are workflow rules. Workflow rules got set out to it got so cluttered that they finally said, let's just separate out the case assignment and the lead assignment rules. So case team routing doesn't work because if you type case team, right, all your choices for case team are the roles and your predefined case teams, right? Once you create those. And remember, when the user, when the role is created, right? It also, you can pick the user, the contact, whoever's on the team, right? So you could pick a user that's the product specialist, and then you give them the role. Oops, I haven't created my role yet. Oh, I'm adding a predefined case team. I haven't even activated my roles. I mean, I don't have any roles yet. So when you create a role, dedicated account rep, you give them, you decide what the access level is going to be, whether they have access to the case or not. Why would you leave it private? It's a crazy choice. Should they be able to read it, write it, those kind of things, right? So then you can add the team members and you give them the role that you can then, that decides their case access. You don't decide afterwards. With the other teams, you do, the individual user assigns it. Anyway, so workflow field update wouldn't work, and case escalation is a case plus time, right? So it's got to be a case that ages into escalation. Anyway, so there's no case team routing. There's only case assignments and then adding a case team member to that case assignment role or escalating it to have that. How can multiple campaign records be associated with a single opportunity? Well, let's say, so campaign, how can multiple campaign records be associated with a single opportunity? So that's something called campaign influence. If you go look at, let's see if we have that in. So you have your campaign influence settings. It's enabled. You could leave it unlimited, a certain number of days. Campaign influence is enabled. Let's enable that. Auto association settings are there so that it calculates that campaign influence. But if you want a one-to-many relationship between campaigns and opportunities, you have to have the campaign influence turned on. Campaign influence does that. So when you have an opportunity, so we have some here, you would have to add the campaign influence tab to the opportunity record in order to show the campaigns. Now, how do you do that? Well, you could just simply edit the page and add that to the related list. Like, well, no, this is the lightning page. You can't add a related list here. I know, but watch. Page analysis. I don't want that. What I can do when I click on the heading is I can actually get to my page layout, my opportunity page layout that I'm looking at. I can go right to that page layout. It opens up another window, but I get right to it. And here's my related lists. And now that I have campaign influence, do I have it? Do I have it? Make a liar out of me. Activate it. Let me refresh the page. See if that'll do it. Campaign hierarchy is only going to nest the campaigns. Let me just see if I can add it here. Where is it? Okay, so I thought we activated it. Campaign influence settings. Auto association settings. So let's see what we have. This is a bigger process, right? Let's see. Why is it not there? Campaign settings. Counts as members of campaigns are there too. Nope, I'm not doing that one. All right, so let's go and see if we can create a campaign. Anyway, so campaign hierarchy, when you do campaign hierarchy, let's see if I even have any campaigns. Might be why it's not doing it. Yeah, I do. So I have this campaign called local visits. There's no, if I look at the hierarchy, right? So I got my, I've got a campaign that's a parent campaign, client visits. So when I'm on an opportunity, oh, let's see, there's something else I got to activate, opportunities. Let's just see. Don't remember. This is how I learn. I dig around. All right. So campaign hierarchy is that hierarchy within a hierarchy, is campaign within a campaign. That's campaign hierarchy. Doesn't matter. Primary campaign source is on an opportunity. When you create an opportunity record, you'll pick the campaign, the primary campaign that came from. That might be from lead conversion. You did it. And then the campaign members are just that. I mean, they're members of the campaign. They're people who are part of that campaign. So you might, add a bunch of members to this campaign. If I add a bunch of leads to this campaign, nothing showed up. So now I can just add a bunch of leads. I'll grab all my leads. Now that they're part of the local, they're part of the client visit campaign, right? But they're not part of, they may not be local, right? So I got these 22 people in there. But now if I create an opportunity with Andy Young, the lead, and go back to Andy Young, that's his membership status. But if I convert, oh, I already converted him. Huzzah. So let's look at his. Is he converted? Andy, oh, I'm looking at his contact record. There he is. You'll see that he's got campaign history, right? He's part of, he's not in a campaign right now. He's a lead. I'll call it client visits. And then he might even be a part of local visits. He's local, not regional. So he's in 2 campaigns now. So he's a campaign member. If I create an opportunity with Andy, let's say 5K by the end of the month, November, opportunity name. right? So I've got the, let's call it new business. Stage is prospecting them. Lead source is where you got the lead, but the primary campaign is not on the page layout yet. So that might be what I need to do. So there's opportunities. Oh, there's this campaign history automatically. So wait, oh, so let me go back to my opportunity. See if we have campaign history. We don't have campaign history on this yet, but we will. Anyway, it's a long way to go to just test all of those. It's campaign influence is what it is, but I don't know why it's not working in my org because I haven't played with it. Like I haven't set it all up. Anyways, that's how that works. So let's see, accounts, members, marketing. Why, oh, why? It just irks me that I should be able to add to the page layout. Hold on, I'm going to add something to the page layout. So in the page layout, we should have the field primary campaign source. There it is. Why did I not see it? Page layout. Record types. The one page layout. This is like opportunity layout. I'm on the opportunity layout. Ah, let me look at my field levels again. If I don't see the field and it's on the page, what could it be preventing me from seeing it? Let me check my field level security. Nope, I'm supposed to be able to see it. It's on the layout.
Hey, Dominic.
Yeah.
Hey, I have to run.
Yeah, it's time anyway. So look, we'll do more of this. I got some other videos on the line.
Okay.
Thanks for being here. I apologize.
No, I appreciate it. It gives me a great idea on what I need to do going forward to prepare for the exam.
This is me exploring the space. Remember I talked about in class, like explore the space?
Yep.
This is exploring the space and then just like allowing yourself to dig around because the things you know will come to you. You'll trigger you to look at different places and then you'll look. So don't go. I'm going a little probably deeper than I should on that one, but there you go. Thanks for being here, Leo. And I'm going to go ahead.
Yep. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You got it. Bye-bye.
All right. See ya.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to end it now, folks. Thanks for being here. Come join us again Saturday. First Saturday of the month. We'll be a little more disciplined than the first. This was on the fly. Be a tough mudder. All right. That's my tough mudder shirt. That's why I completed it. I'm not doing it again. I don't really feel up to it anymore. I've conquered that monster. Just for fun, we're going to do the last one. I know. Do the last one. Now I'm going to go figure out why my campaign influence and my primary campaign source. I'm in the opportunity layout. Primary campaign source. Under probability. Yet. Oh, there it is. Local visits. Primary campaign source. Huzzah. It's right there the whole time. So I don't know why if you could tell me in the comments why or what I need to do, then you'll have learned something new. But as last one, yeah, I don't know why the campaign influence related list. Let's see what help says. I just got to solve the problem. I have a desire to solve this problem, right? Hopefully you do too. So let's see. Campaign influence, we got enabled. Oh, So a permission is needed on a profile sales user license, permission set license assignments. So my permission set license assignments. What? Permission set license assignments. So I'm going to edit my assignment. All right. CRM user. Oh, it's fantastic. I haven't looked at these in a while. All right, click app permissions, edit, enable campaign influence on the permission set. All right. Wait a minute, did I move too fast? Oh, I got to create a new permission. Right, look at this, fun. It's called. Oh, it's enlightening. All right, campaign influence. You really got to want campaign influence, right? Really got to want it. So we'll put it as a sales user. And then, is it app permissions? App permissions. Wow. That's the only permission. Holy bajola. I haven't done that in a while. It's been done for me. What are you going to do? Do something you never did before? Manage the assignments. Add the assignment. Notice what we're doing, right? We're just adding this to the user we want to have happen. Joe didn't get it. I don't care. I didn't care if Joe got it. Now, see if this changed everything or anything. Maybe it'll change the permission set availability. Guess what that's going to do now is let me see it, right? You got to have permit. Listen, this is the fundamental of Salesforce. If you can't do something, you know it can be done. You get to change it. Let's see. So we got to add it now to the page layout. Huzzah. Campaign influence. Yes. Overwrite those related lists. Overwrite those related lists. Let's go, let's go, let's go. There it is, campaign influence. So whatever, but let's not talk about campaign influence. Whatever contacts or on your opportunity, whatever campaigns they're part of, they will whatever campaigns they're a part of will determine which campaign influence it is, right? So let's say Rosa is an economic buyer, Rose Gonzalez, and that may or may not change the campaign influence. It really didn't so far. But if we go back to campaigns, I'm going to go to all my campaigns, and I'm going to add Rose to it. Right? So when I go back to that opportunity, you'll see that campaign was added to the opportunity. Maybe not. Let's see. Is that campaign active? Oh. So it's part of my details. It's active, but I'll make the status incompleted. Shouldn't be, that shouldn't matter. But let me give it the dates. Today. Opportunity. I might just need to clear my cache. There it is. Look at that, because it didn't meet the date range criteria, right? So it didn't automatically associate a campaign that's already completed. So while a campaign's open, you can calculate your ROI based on how many of these opportunities close when, whatever amount, and the people and the campaigns that they were influencing. You could also add another campaign. Oh, we can't add it right now. It's probably something else we're gonna do. You can add another campaign to this campaign influence from the user. Last one, and then we are going to shut off this call. Lesson 15 of 30, Ursa Major Solar attempts to log into Salesforce from an IP address that is outside the login IP range on the user's profile, but within the organization-wide trusted IP. What occurs as a result of this? So log in from an IP address that is outside the login IP range of the user's profile, but within the OWD trusted range. So let's say your company's got 5 floors of an office building. You work on a 5-story building. You only work on floor 1. So you only have access to floor 1, even though the company says all 5 floors are trusted. All right. So the user will be able to log in after the computer is activated. Why? Because they're already within a trusted IP range, no activation needed. The user will be unable to log in at all. That is correct. Why? Because they're logging from outside their IP range, which is the limit of their permissible ranges. The user to log in without activating the computer? Only if they're within the range that they're allowed. Would they that within the range does not automatically activate a browser. Those are 2 separate functions. If I'm logging in and I'm restricted to one range and I clear all my cookies, I still have to activate the browser to get that cookie reloaded. But if it's a trusted IP and I have no restrictions, I don't need a cookie. So they will not be able to activate. The user will be able to log in after answering a security question. No, you can't log in at all. All right, that's it for today, folks. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for leaving a comment. Thanks for being in No Hana. We'll see you soon. Bye.